Hey, isn't that just hysterical? I just did a live and I did this here for 13 minutes. I think I looked at it afterwards, and right when I got done, you know what I noticed? I noticed right at the end, the microphone was muted. And so I saw all these people come on and stay on for a minute and then disappear. And I thought, wow, I must be really boring today. Really terrible. No one's here. And then what? It was silent. So this is funny. And it's exactly in line with what I want to talk about today. Revelation, or intuition, or inspiration. What is that? Well, you can define it however you want. However, how I define it is being in a place or listening, receiving guidance. Receiving guidance from the divine, receiving guidance from the universe, from your higher self. I call it the divine. So, receiving guidance from the divine is revelation or intuition. The third eye, the spirit, your spirit self, receiving that is revelation. What I know is that when I receive it, you can feel it. You know that it's not your own thinking. And one of the things that I used to do a lot is doubt it. Well, what if I'm thinking? What if it's not real? What if it doesn't matter? What if it's nothing, right? I used to imagine and fob it off like it wasn't real. And then I've learned now to pay attention to it. So here's the question. Part of that I was referring to Pressfield in the write up, and that's because Pressfield talks about resistance, and he talks about it like it's a thing, like a bodily thing. Well, it is. And it's a necessary and required part of our experience here. I want to relate it to a physical thing first, so it's really clear. First of all, we have resistance in the form of gravity. If gravity wasn't the same day to day, then one day you'd get up and, gravity would be 1x like it is, and you'd weigh whatever you weigh and you'd walk around. If tomorrow you got up and it was 10x, you wouldn't be able to move. Or if you got up and it was 1/10x, each step might bounce you off the ceiling. So I lift up the mouse and it goes flying, out of my hands. So we depend on that. Well, the resistance that we feel to growth is necessary, required, essential to our growth, to our energetic growth, our spiritual growth, our choices, the feelings that we have. So my question about revelation is this. There's two parts to this. One is, do you put yourself regularly in a place or a frame of mind where you receive intuition and revelation? Do you do that? And if you do you know? Can you do it on demand? Like the universe, the divine, is not just parceling out. Well, I'll leave you on your own. Well, I'll give you some guidance. Well, oh gee, I forgot to hear you. It doesn't work like that. You can have all the revelation guidance and you want. Some people call that living a guided life. I saw this video on, I think it was Vishen's Mind Valley, where someone was talking about living a guided life, just following their intuition. And I've had people say, well, that's boring. It's not fun. There's no spontaneity. Well, you know what I can tell you from my own experience is that living a guided life and following intuition is far more interesting than anything I could imagine. And I say that from my own experience. I've lived according to my own whims and wishes and fancy. And I've also lived a guided life, which is what I live now. And that's a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. Let me give you an example of how things change. 3 years ago in April, so 3 months from now will be at 3 years, I started a podcast. And the podcast is called Your Ultimate Life. I started it right at the beginning of the pandemic, right when lockdown started. And I started it to help with inspiration and encouragement, and a 15-minute daily podcast of just inspirational stuff about what you can do and choices you can make and how to live through even difficult things and make stuff happen. It's changed over the last year quite a bit. So the first 2 years were like that. And now I'm really focused on still doing that, still encouraging people and assuring you here right now that you can have a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, because you can today, not someday in the future. But what I'm doing now, in addition to that, is I'm using the fact that I have a large stage, essentially, a large platform to help you spread your message, build your business. So, my goal with my podcast now is to level up your business, to expand your reach, to give you the opportunity to do more, reach more, and create more, add influence in your world. Now, that may be building business for money, attracting clients, or spreading a message. I don't know, but I would really like to help with that. And the reason is because my 50 million, it's 50 million of you discovering, developing, and serving with your gifts. And what I know from my own experience is when you serve with your gifts, you're going to build your business and you're going to make money. So my platform, my podcast is now, the episodes are longer and I'm finding more guests. In the beginning, I didn't have very many. Now I have them a lot. And the reason is because I want to help you get your message, your business, your growth on the upswing, because that's helping you discover and serve with your gifts. So that's something that changed, and I'm really excited about it. Another piece about this guided life thing is this morning I was awakened by the Spirit. Ding! And I, to go do something. And it wasn't a short something, it was a long something. It took 2-3 hours. And it is a thing that I do sometimes, a place that I go to receive guidance and revelation. And I was tired because I got up early to do it, but I went. And I was gifted and rewarded with such clarity about my road to 50 million, exactly what to do, exactly how to make it more effective to help more people. And the podcast was a specific example. There were lots of parts to it, but some of the instruction was very clear about how to upgrade the podcast, even things like the video quality, how to make that better, how to make the audio better, how to make the reach better, not for me, but for you. Because the whole purpose of my podcast is to help you make money and to help you spread your message and to help you reach the audience. That's why you've noticed in the last few months, almost all the episodes are interviews. I've changed that from what it was because my road to 50 million is to help 50 million people serve with their divine gifts. So that's why I'm looking for two things. When I'm looking for folks that want to use the platform to leverage their reach, but I'm also looking to upgrade the experience so that it grows faster to help you with what we're doing. So that whole framework about exactly how to do that came to me this morning because I went and did what I felt guided to do, and I was suddenly awakened by Spirit. So I say that not because I'm magic, because I'm not. What I know is that you can put yourself anytime you want in touch with the divine and live a guided life. A guided life doesn't mean no spontaneity, no fun. It means more spontaneity, more growth, more fun, more challenges, things you couldn't even imagine. There are mountains that you can climb that if you looked at them today might scare the daylights out of you, but you can do it. You can do it with the right guidance. And that's what our journey here is about. It's about living into the highest version of ourselves. Well, the highest version of ourselves is doing the most powerful things. So some people, on their wall, they put pictures of cats and, funny things about falling in the snow or whatever. Actually, a funny thing happened to me today. I actually dropped my phone. Scary. I dropped my phone in the toilet. Oh no. And I was worried it was going to be dead, but it wasn't. What a funny thing. But I don't usually put pictures of that up, not because I couldn't. Of course I could. Well, it would have been hard to take a picture, but you know what I mean. I could have got something else. But anyway, Instead, I'd rather use the opportunity to love you, encourage you, lift you, bless you, and remind you how powerful and good you are and capable, to offer my help in any way, shape, or form that I can give it. So I was awakened early, and the whole revelation was about this resistance thing, about how much fun it is. We sometimes, as coaches, when we work with clients, it's about how do we get past this resistance. I think resistance is fun. I think it's joyful, and I lean into it, and I love it every day, all the time. And if you read all of Pressfield's books, Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be, and The Artist's Journey, and The War of Art, and Turning Pro, and Do the Work, I think those are the 5 that are in that series. He's got a lot more than that. It really is just about making a choice to live into your highest self, to listen to that voice of intuition and inspiration that you have a right to, that's in your heart all the time. If you'll tune to the station, and if you make a choice to listen to it and act on it. So here is my experience today. My experience today was I got awakened by the Spirit, I followed the intuition, and I was richly rewarded. I'm not special. That's available to you. The thing that I used to struggle with was the courage to follow the intuition, the promptings. That's not a problem anymore, because I've learned that even when it's hard or scary, it works out well anyway. Like today, the entire framework about how to do more stuff with the podcast, which is one little piece of what I'm doing. And I use that as an example, but yours is different, whether it's family or raising kids or building business or whatever it is. You can do it. If I can help, I'm available. We'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.